All right, click the links to join the channel here or over at Subscribe. So this article threw me for just a second because it's got diversity hires getting axed. Don't for a second fall for that. Like, oh, it's get woke, go broke. No, that's not true. Like at the tactical level, yes. At the strategic level, no. And the thing is, even if at the strategic, by the tactical level, I mean at the film to film level, yes. Many more films, woke films, than not lose money. Yes. Strategic level, I mean at the company level. No, they're not getting broke at the company level, whether it's Disney or Anheuser-Busch. We're not buying Bud Light, but we're buying some other Anheuser-Busch products. Like, well, okay, so the Bud Light, and say the entire Budweiser division goes up in smoke. It's possible. It is possible. But Anheuser-Busch is going to be just fine because most people are not bothering to look at like the other 12 beers they make and the other dozens of products they make. Though honestly, like if people really got their ass together and they wanted to tank Anheuser-Busch, they could cut Anheuser-Busch in half for a long time if they really wanted to. People got pretty short memories. I will say the Anheuser-Busch thing's sticking around a little bit longer than most boycotts for whatever reason. But anyway, so this article is not exactly as it seems, but I think I figured out. It didn't take too long to figure out because, like, their motivation is woke. That so the thing is, like, the movies can lose money, and the company is probably not losing money. But even if the company does, even if Disneyland finally has losses that exceeds profit, and I don't think they're there yet because they have old IPs and theme parks, and they have product sales out of their mind, money coming in to the point where if they lost $1 billion a year in films, I think they would still be okay. I think that's the kind of money you're talking about. But even if the company did start losing money, they would be okay with that because it is a cult. And people think like, oh no, cults are small things. No, because you're seeing the evidence for it right now. I'm just saying, look at the things with an open mind. You go like, what if I didn't have these preconceived notions? What if take the information before me and I reach a conclusion? It does seem reasonable to conclude that these companies are operating with a motive that I did not understand. I thought it was fiduciary duty to the customers. It appears that this is a religion. But that's crazy. But the evidence seems to suggest that. Oh, okay, well, let's run with the best theory we have. And that is the best theory, that there's something else going on with these companies. And the thing is, the more you look into it, the more, if you make these videos, the more you really look into it, you see it a little bit more, and you might be a little enthusiastic about it, a little tinfoil hat, but you got to try to spread this information to people as fast as possible. So what happened was some woke political commissars got fired, which, I won't say I was... which sounds a bit odd because the evidence is that woke is accelerating. The simple explanation is that these DI officers, the diversity, inclusion, equity, are internal to the company management. That's the big shift, the big misunderstanding a little bit. This is not the external product to the end user, the streaming videos and films. That's the big difference. The internal workings of the companies are being destroyed by these Bolshevik political commissars. The company itself that is made to deliver this Pravda levels of propaganda, it still has to be a well-oiled running machine. Their goal is to produce this venom for the sheep, the NPCs, but now they're starting to drink some of the venom themselves, and they're getting a taste of it. They're like, wait, we can't continue to function. Like, we're poisoning ourselves. The goal is to produce this for the external, the end user, the buyer of the product, not for ourselves because it'll destroy the company. I think that's what they discovered. They kind of finally recognized that that they want to export this woke anti-white cancer, brainwash the sheep. I mean, because if you're paying for this product and I just can't, like, it just blows my tits off when I hear somebody like on social media goes, oh my gosh, if Disney does this woke stuff another 1,000 times, we might have to consider possibly unsubscribing. You should have done that years ago. What the hell is wrong with these people? So having these insanely racist women actually dealing internally with their employees was lowering the efficiency of the company so much that it was going to destroy it. The goal, again, to deliver the product, not to destroy the companies, which they would have done in a few years. You would have dropped the efficiency so much that people just wouldn't have cared about anything. And if it was me, I'd hire somebody for this position, but, kind of wink, wink, nod, nod as an add-on to their regular work, so that you could virtue signal that you were on board with all this, the Larry Frank, the Soros, the BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, all the puppet master type of people, and that the guy understood that he wasn't actually supposed to do anything, produce something, like write up a memo, an office memo that you can post up somewhere where nobody sees it, talking about learning to love different recipes from around the world, and look, hey, here's a native Spanish dress, and here's a Portuguese one, and here's a Greek one, and here's a Swedish one, like something like that. It's like, that's diverse, celebrating diversity of culture, and it's like, that's not what these Frankfurt School, Saul Alinsky, Bolshevik people are really. That's not really what they want you to talk about. But it does technically meet the paper checklist of woke. So you can, in your company, your stock prospectus, you can include that. Like, here's Jack Smith, blonde hair, blue eyed guy who's like the diversity officer or something, and he's but nobody on the outside of the company knows that the diversity is just talking about recipes from what's the Basque region? Is that Spain or Portugal? Something like, hey, here's a recipe from the Basque, cooking with Basques or something, some kind of nonsense like that. It's like, that's diversity, you know. And that would be fine. Like, hey, Jack, we're gonna pay you $50,000 a year. Just come up with a memo once a week. It's just a bonus for your, just on top of your other stuff. Like once every 2 weeks. It's $50,000, dude. It just take the money and just wink, wink. And that's what I would do if I had to do this kind of stuff. Obvious BS, yeah, of course. But I mean, like, none of this stuff is real. None of this stuff is based on logic, facts, or evidence. None of these people have ever had their ideas challenged. No open marketplace of ideas for them. No cross-examination. No rebuttal. They've never had to sharpen their arguments because their arguments are garbage from the start. It's, issue, rule, analysis, conclusion, or scientific method, being able to repeat your experiments or having someone else repeat the experiments. It's just conclusion based on Frankfurt School theory, and then critical theory. It's not critical race theory. It's critical theory from the Frankfurt School. And then they just conclude with a conclusion. And no one has ever come up to them and go, but can you show me some evidence for this? Because if you have an appeal to emotion, then, our side can appeal to emotion too. But, obviously, like, these companies operate. The thing is, these companies don't operate in a vacuum. They operate with Larry Fink as the spider at the center of the web, or, other mutual fund managers like him who are managing trillions of your dollars to do this kind of stuff. Oh, it's really challenging to get through these videos. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, these people, like, spider at the center of a web's a really good simile, metaphor, analogy, because they are Venom. These are, what's that Lord of the Rings spider, Sheebob or something. I hate it in the movie. They use the back of the spider's got the spinnerets where they produce the silk, right? The front of the spider has two fangs to introduce some sort of venom to start the breakdown process. But in the movie, they had the spinnerets, so you got fangs up front, but you have the spinnerets turn into like a scorpion sting. Like, that's just a science error 101. I'm sure all the arachnid geeks out there, and like, I'm not even a spider person, but like, that's just dumb. Why did you do that? Because it looks cool, but the spider has fangs up front. That's like, the weapons are where his eyes are and where his sensors are. He's not a scorpion. Like, you should just use. None of this makes sense. I don't know where it's going with that. Anyway, these people are poison. If you've heard some of their leaked conference call type of things, they're really a challenge to deal with. The thing is, like I said, these companies don't operate in a vacuum. They operate with Larry Fink pulling the strings, and until that changes, Neil says, don't feed posts in the comments. None of this goes away. None of this changes because he will just punish the companies. It's like, so wait, it seems like there's these kind of semi-secret NGOs that kind of run America. The biggest companies, like multi-billion-dollar companies, are kind of run according to the capricious whims of these venom-filled spiders. Yeah, Larry Fink's one of them, but yeah, that's kind of a lot how it goes. There's articles about that with his, what do you call it, ESG, and diversity, inclusion, and equity. Yeah. It's like, oh, so it's like, it's not the company so much. Don't get me wrong, they're woke, they're on board with it, but it's these puppet masters behind the scenes who are really kind of doing this. Yeah, that's a big part of it. Anyway, the thing is, when they make these behind the scene, memos that are just nonsense. Like, anyone watching this, when it hits Twitter or other social media, you look at it and you're like, oh, these people are just anti-white racists. Like, none of the things they're saying are based on logic. Like, they're just horrible, evil people. It hurts the company. Like, people are nice. They try to be nice. They try to be a little bit woke. They're going to bend over a little bit. But once you start coming out with like the venom that these people are putting out there, you realize, there's no meeting in the middle with these people. They hate you based on your ethnicity, and there's no like they have no argument other than an appeal to emotion. It's just nonsense. And all these internal documents eventually will leak. You can't keep anything internal. People don't keep secrets, and that makes a company look bad. Like Disney's having a lot of issues with that, to the point where they realize, yeah, we want to save this for the sheep. We don't want to do this stuff internally because it's hurting the company itself. The company is the vehicle to deliver the venom. The propaganda is not intended internally to the company because it's a poison to the company. The poison, sorry to confuse venom and poison for you science nerds out there, drives people crazy. It's like Clipping magazine for folks. The poison is intended for the end user, not internal to the company. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys. Happy 4th of July to everyone. And I'll see you guys all next episode.